Good afternoon, comic book fans. Looks very dark on that one. There we go. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm Evan, host Shorty, and today we're reviewing Batman, Catwoman. Now, don't get me wrong, I think there's bigger releases this week. There's the King in Black, big Marvel one, which I usually would do as my first one. I usually go for the big one, but this is the second biggest, and it's the one I actually want to read, so I'm going to do it. I want to say I want to read it because I really enjoy Tom King's Batman. It's very hard to discuss this without getting into what made Tom King's Batman great and what got it cancelled. What made it great was that he actually pushed stuff and tried to do new things. He introduced new characters. He put little twists on old ones. He had an awful lot of fun. He even did one of his annuals was the Batman. One of the tie-ins is the Batman Elmer Fudd thing, which was amazing. And then one of the annuals was the Batman Catwoman thing, which was just fantastic. I did great things with form. He told really interesting stories with great characters. But then he did 6 issues in a row of a dream sequence, and I'm not a fan of dream sequences in the first place. Even though I really like Tom King's story, even though I was like, dude, this could have been done in 2 issues, if that. And I think he saw a lot of criticism come as a result of that. And DC Comics, quite rightly, with what I'm sure is their best-selling title, were like, okay, we need somebody at the helm of this which isn't going to push things so far that it's just going to get weird and we're going to get lots of negative stories. They're kind of probably okay with fun, interesting stories where they're going to get ragged on a little bit, but it was like an almost unanimous, like, what the hell is going on in Tom King's mind kind of press cycle, which is, understandable. Even I wasn't a fan. So he got pulled short. He wasn't allowed to go to a full 100 issues. And James Tynion IV took over, which is cool because I've been quite enjoying it. Is it as interesting as Tom King stuff? No. But is it more reliable? Yes, I'd say so. The bad issues are never really far below the good issues, and you can take of that what you will. Batman and Catwoman was his way of basically wrapping up the story because he did want to make this relationship part of the key arc from it, and this is him basically getting to the end of it. Also reintroducing, for people I'm not aware, the Phantasm, which I've always kind of thought was part of the DC universe. Apparently, it was the Marvel animated stuff, and it's not really been a big thing in the main story. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And before we get too far into what actually happens in it, I'm going to talk about form. And not necessarily just page layouts and the whole 9-page grids and how you can play with guttering and all that kind of thing. I'm talking about time as a way to do it, and the ability to jump backwards and forwards, basically to tell a non-linear story. The kind of thing which Quentin Tarantino is very well known for, amongst other things. But it's not a particularly unusual thing. Tom King has played around this idea before in some of his other stuff, in fact, and it's not anything which is completely out of the ordinary. But when it's done well, it's really, really good and it stands out. Throwing that fact that there's also lots of callbacks to minor stuff that's gone on, and there's quite a lot of very nice interwoven story going on in there. I think it plays really, really nicely. It's never confusing. You're never like, well, hang on, which time bit are we in now? I mean, I know a lot of people, when it came to the first season of Witcher, weren't 100% happy with the fact that you were drifting backwards and forwards into the middle between all these different plots. But this is handled really nicely, and it actually is quite useful for getting the story to flow. In fact, yeah, it helps the story flow. It isn't something which is the story flows in spite of it. It actually is the reason why it's such an intriguing read, because the little ways that they drop in and out just add to the story in really quite interesting ways. And that goes down to the writing as well. I think Tom King is fantastic at his dialogue. His Superman is one of the best things I've ever read. One of the best Supermans I've ever read, certainly. And the fact that he gets to play with Joker, Sewer King, Batman, Catwoman, Alfred, and a bunch of other people, and give them great voices, is just fantastic. His conversational style, there's occasional times when I feel like he takes a little bit from the Bendis kind of way of doing things, which sometimes can mean an awful lot of speech bubbles on a page. I think during the end of the City of Bane, there was some pages with an awful lot of people talking over each other, and yes, you could make sense of it, but it wasn't necessarily the most fun thing to read. But I think he's curbed the worst of that for this one. At least I hope he managed to maintain that. And before I go, got a few more seconds left. Let's talk about the artwork. This is Clay Mann, who is very, very good indeed. So I'm trying to find a page which isn't just a double-page advert. He basically does quite a lot of organic-looking stuff. But my absolute favourite bit is his take on the Joker. which just looks very, very cool indeed. You get a genuine sense of location there as well. The wind just moving the tie a little bit, hands in the pockets with the trousers like dropping away. Everything about that is immaculate, and I absolutely love it. I've been looking forward to it for a long time. Have I been disappointed? Absolutely not. I have really loved it. I'm very glad I'm down for it. I can't wait for the next 11 issues. If it carries on being this good, it will almost certainly be an early entry into my best of next year's comic book list. So let's see how it goes. Anyway, that's it for me. I'll be back tomorrow. And as I say, hopefully everything will be back to more normal because I'll be just open as regular and should be able to do these reviews rather than having to do them from my house and stuff like that. Take it easy. Bye.